Steve, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go on blast right now. Not against you, not against Steve, by the way, if anybody's listening. But no, I'm going against that Dan Crenshaw, that SOB. Made a, he had a picked up on a hot mic saying he wants to kill Tucker Carlson. This just keeps on adding to the fire that I have towards against this guy. He's an arrogant SOB. He doesn't like to be questioned. He was supposed to be the darling of the right. He actually has a contemptuous attitude towards the people he represents and anybody else around him. He doesn't want to have to explain himself, and he has to. He's in that position, and he should be. I don't think he's actually going to ever back down on this. I mean, he's going to try to play it off. When I said he's trying to, oh no, laugh like it didn't happen. He's already got lying down. I just can't stand it. I mean, his arrogance comes through so bad. And I know people are saying, well, he's a veteran. You didn't serve your country. I don't care. At this point, I don't. When you threaten to kill somebody because they're asking questions you don't want to hear, go to hell. Go to hell, Crenshaw. Oh, go become a pirate. That suits you better. I'm sorry. If I offended you, Steve. I'm sorry about that. But
I don't care because he's not there. He's there as a representative of the people. He's not there as his former military self, if you know what I mean. He should be able to attack him for the person that he is, or at least take him to task. Maybe not attack him, but
yeah. I mean, he's like, if he's not going to, I know
you can't threaten people.
No,
and it says in the article that Glenn Beck gave him an out, and tried to delete what he had said, but you can't delete the internet.
No, and it's like, I mean, it's like ridiculous. This man is so arrogant. I mean, he doesn't like to be questioned anything. He doesn't like the fact that people are onto him and don't want people, in the Senate and House to be able to trade on the information on the stock market to make a clean up for themselves. I mean, he gets so contemptuous of that, and he just gets. I can't stand the man. If he walked in this room now, I'd spit in his face. I can't stand the guy. I can't. I just do not like him. His arrogance comes through. I don't know about you. Do you pick up on the arrogance, or is it just me being too picky on it?
You can tell. I mean, I'm surprised there's not stories that come out from his military time in the military, because you can't hide that.
No,
people, you know what I mean?
And that's another thing is too. I've known guys in the military who were very humble and nobody said anything about. And when it came out that they actually were true heroes, and they never mentioned it. The bulk of the guys that grew up with went to Nam, and the guys who they came back, they never mentioned hardly the thing. And this guy's basically milking it for all it's worth. I mean, I'm serious. I'm sorry he suffered injuries in service to this country. I don't want to wish that on anybody. And that's like, you can't take that from that individual. He did suffer some setbacks in life because of the injuries he received, but his contemptuous attitude towards people, and he's in a position to be questioned, and he has resentment against being questioned. What does he expect? Everything he says and does to be applauded?
What's the word I'm looking for? He's just the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
They all feel like that. They do to some point or extent.
Well, maybe I got to give him credit because he's not experienced enough to not know about, the hot mic scenario, which has been picked up by a lot of, probably pick me up later on, somewhere, nail me someplace down the road. But
it's like we say, these people are not heroes.
No.
They ran for a public office and they were elected, and that's it. They're not heroes, and they're not going to save us.
No, they're not. And he certainly doesn't. And he doesn't show. I mean, he basically wants to ride around on the prestige of being who he is. And he doesn't want to be questioned. I mean, he reminds me of some Shakespearean character from a Shakespearean play that I read back when I was in college, Coriolanus or something like that. He didn't want to have to go play the role or anything. He just wanted to go around in his former accolades. He just wants to float around on that. And that's what I think Crenshaw's milking it.
But when I was in the military, we had a saying, what did you do today?
Right. That's
nobody. I mean, yeah, okay, you did some great things in your past, but what have you done today?
And be in the position he's in now. I mean, the military I knew was supposed to teach discipline and respect for people who, I guess, face it, the people voted for Dan Crenshaw essentially are his superiors in a sense, if you want to put it in civilian terms. And he seems to be contemptuous of them. I don't think that'd go well in the military. You have a contempt for the command structure or anything else? I don't think so. No, anyway, Dan, if you're hearing this, go to hell. I'm serious. Go to hell. I mean, yeah, Tucker Carlson, I really learned to appreciate him because he has been one of the first ones I know that actually him and Candace Owens is questioning Israel, and I like that. And
but he does have ties.
Yeah, he does have ties.
And he does wear the and he's claimed to never take it off. The bracelet, I forgot, it symbolizes something for Israel. He
Mm-hmm.
wears one.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Are you talking about Crenshaw or Carlson?
Carlson.
Oh, see, I'm so tired of everybody having more loyalty to that country than in our own. I mean, I saw a clip where
I forget what the name of the bracelet is, but he bragged that he never has taken it off since the day he put it on.
Well, it just means that I don't know. I'm an American. I don't know any other country. I'm from a multi-ethnic family. I have no loyalties to Germany, Scotland, France, England, Sweden, whatever, where my ancestors came from. I have no loyalty. I can't go back to the place I've never been to. This is my country. All these other people, do you think Israel's going to let these people in? Or maybe they are because they're high profile and have big bucks, but they're not. They're not going to be, welcomed as like long lost brothers. No way in hell are they going to be. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The fawning over Israel. Hey, guess what? I think they're doing horrific things to people. Okay. I'm going to say that. I guess that makes me an anti-Semite. Okay. I don't care anymore. I don't.
But I do like it that Christine Ohms is exposing the leakers in her department involves. They're giving lie detector tests and different things to try to find out who's leaking the information about where ICE is going to set up, because it puts local law enforcement and the public in harm's way, because they let them know where they're going to be. The bad guys can set up and shoot them.
So once again, we got people with divided loyalties or questionable loyalties in our positions of government. I mean, that's to me, that's if the people who do this, to me, that's an active, for all practical purposes, for reason. I think it is.
Okay, if you take an oath of public office and then you take a job and you disagree with it, then you need to quit. Or if you think you got a real problem or something that you've uncovered, then you need to become a whistleblower.
Yeah. And I do like whistleblowers. I like people who do get the guts to speak out. I think they should be protected. We know they're not. They say they have those protections in place, but we know that they always find a way around them. And people who have blown the whistle usually suffer severe consequences. And that's this country is
because Congress uses them and they throw them to the side.
Right
after they get their little talking points, then they're no longer important anymore.
Yeah, I can't stand what our government allows these people to do. I mean, they should be on. I mean, and another thing is too. Hey, if Elon Musk really wants to search for people to cut excess fat to cut off the public dole, these people are like right there. They're should be at the top of the line, in my opinion. Hey, get these people. I mean, guess what? How much consideration we be given, or due process we be given if we were look at the January 6ers. I mean, they accuse them of insurrection.
They bulldozed them.
Huh?
They bulldozed them. But how many times have you seen that where the little guy gets bulldozed by the big politician?
Yeah, it's like I know that Crenshaw loved this. You don't like to be criticized, so yeah.
He was against the January 6ers being pardoned.
Yeah, see, he's a piece of crap. I don't want to keep on going back to him, but it does kind of revolving the Gnomes thing. And see, I don't like her in a lot of ways too, but I'll go back to that later. But I like her on some things. That's the thing is that angers a lot of people.
Well, I don't think Trump would have picked her if he didn't think she could do the job.
That's not part of my problem with her. I mean, but she wanted to pass legislation to prevent people from being critical of Israel, basically destroying our First Amendment because these are our allies, and I think that's wrong. I mean, you should be able to criticize anybody you want.
How about Trump saying that Ted Cruz is on his short list for Supreme Court justices?
I like Ted Cruz in some ways. I got to think about that, but I mean, I think he's good. He's a loyalist. He's a loyal person to the country. I mean, I've never seen anything where he's done anything against.
Well, Trump would never say anything like that if he hasn't already vetted him, and you know what I mean?
Right.
He doesn't say stuff like that just to blow smoke.
So I just I'd like to say though, just because he's conservative, a lot of times a conservative is like they want a certain portion of the Constitution emphasized, but they want to ignore the rest. So I'd like to know where he feels out on the rest of those on the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. But I mean, overall, I can say at this point, I really have an issue with that. I think that's probably a good selection choice, and I think Trump was, like you said, I think he did do some vetting, quite a bit of, Trump's smart. He's got feelers out. I mean, he's a businessman.
If you look on TikTok, he's not smart according to the experts on TikTok.
Oh, the experts on TikTok. What have
Yeah.
they done with their lives? Oh yeah, got on TikTok, and we can't say mine.
He's never run a business in his life. I love that comment.
Trump's never ran a business.
Yeah. Or
Okay.
he went bankrupt.
Yeah. You get enough businesses going, and that's the thing is, see, that's what
Uh,
people don't like.
it's just these stupid comments. If you really paid it, I don't pay attention to the comments anymore on TikTok. I just laugh.
Well, it's like what I think. Well, because we have to have thicker skins, and a lot of times I just simply don't look at some of the reactions we get and comments we get because it does weigh on you. I mean, you got to be thick skinned. I can understand. Maybe I'll try to swing the thing to be a little bit sympathetic for Dan Crenshaw because maybe you do think you're doing the best and you hate being criticized. Okay, but I think we are trying. I, and when Todd joins us, I think we all try to stay middle of the road. And we try to actually look at things with a fair perspective. But I mean, no, I mean, the rest of the media doesn't do that. And Trump, definitely. I don't know who's saying that, but they're ridiculous. I mean, the man has business acumen. I mean, and guess what? That means you're going to flop.
But they're really digging on Elon because he's repeatedly used the word retard to describe people or things and he's hurt people bad.
Well, I've been called all kinds of names.
It used to be in our vernacular, remember?
Yeah. It's like
everybody would call people or say that it's so retarded or whatever. But I guess with the little thin-skinned people now, everything's so bad if you use words like that, it's going to kill them.
Well, guess what? Part of me says, where were these people when I was growing up? Because I got attacked on a daily basis.
That was probably the least of the explicit descriptions of you.
Yeah. See, so I got a lot more too, but hey, I'll keep them back. But no, I'm serious. I mean, and it's nobody likes to be hurt. Nobody likes to be called names. Nobody does. I try to avoid, except for Crenshaw. I can't stand that SOB. But anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, it was used so much, it wasn't even meant. I don't even know. People were just use the word, just like they used the word man. Remember?
Oh, I still do that.
Man, that's bad.
Man, it's like man. I'm serious. I'm from the '70s, man. I mean, man, I just did it. I use that constantly, and it's like I had somebody tell me that I was talking on the phone. They said I'm estimating you're in their 50s. This is when I was in my 50s. I said, how'd you figure that out? He said, you said man like 20 times during this conversation.
Yeah,
but no, I do that a lot. I mean, what's they say nowadays? God, a dude, I guess will. That's the '70s thing too. But people weigh in on that. What's
my
the other
dude?
Words? My dude, or MG, what is it? My guy, or something like that. Or
I
G.
don't know.
Yeah, that's what I think. G. I don't know if that's still in the parlance, but I know there's a lot of words that come and go. So anyway, I can't get to my list. What else is going on here that you want to see? What get our weigh in
on? The Eagles, if invited, are now going to go to the White House.
If invited,
is that magic?
Yeah, that's like woof. Yeah. People's opinion.
What a difference a day makes.
Yeah, it's like, well, maybe we should reconsider this because we just rebuilt some popularity again. Now let's not throw that.
And then they also had Trump was the first president that went to Super Bowl in a long time. I can't remember who the last one was, but like I said yesterday when we talked, that he made it okay for people to watch football again.
Yeah, people say, well, it's not an unpatriotic act. I mean, I guess if I was really enamored with sports, I'd watch it regardless of what they said or did. But I mean, I'm not. I mean, like I said before, I just can't. I never understand the loyalty to professional.
Oh, it was fun when I was a kid. You didn't play football?
I played football in the yard and stuff, but I mean, or somebody else's yard. But I just like the loyalty to a team, though. Because I mean, I knew each year each month or so they could face being traded or be on the injury list or whatever.
Kids don't think like that. I know I didn't think like that.
I did. I was like, these people change names. I mean, they're not the same team they were last year. I mean, you just like a mascot. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I like the colors of the Miami Dolphins when I was a kid.
But Trump endorses Vivek Ramaswamy for governor of Ohio.
Does he live in Ohio though, or?
He would have to, John, if he's going to run for governor, don't you?
I mean, it's like I don't know much about Vivek. I mean, I think he's like he's put himself out there he's taking a lot of hits.
The thing is, Trump is the one that endorsed him, not you.
Okay. Well, like I
I
said,
don't think people care what you think.
okay, I guess. But what I think about Trump making that, making that, that idea known, I don't know. I just, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. What is else
It
is
doesn't
involved?
matter that it's been the decision's been made. You
Well,
don't have a choice. He's running,
okay.
whether you like it or
I'm not
not.
going to run for governors. I don't have to. Can't vote for Ohio governor anyway. But I just. But what's your opinion of Vivek? Do you really think he's a solid conservative? Or do you think he's a snake in the grass or what?
Trump wouldn't endorse him if he was, don't you
Well,
think?
I would hope not.
I
But
mean, he's being very careful this time around.
yeah, because he was far too trusting in the first round. He was Pompeo. God, and then Nikki Haley. I mean, those are two were they've soon showed their true colors, and betrayed
But
him
it's
basically.
nice that we don't have people like that we know of in office that of the people that he's picked to surround
Yeah,
him.
so now I'm glad that he's like being more cautious. I think the first time around he was not politically he was naive. I mean, because he heard something they said, he figured they're on board for the same things he did, and that wasn't the case with Pompeo and Haley. I mean, anyway, I'm glad that he's got more sensibility and senses about more of a developed sense of cynicism, and skepticism
I
toward.
don't know if you noticed or not, but they removed the Resolute desk from the Oval Office, and the rumors are spiraling out of control, saying that part of the reason is to have it checked over for listening devices. They
That's
think the
what.
Oval Office is bugged.
That's it sounds paranoid, but it's that's the world. I mean, that's politics, and that's not too far. That's a stretch beyond imagination for us to believe that's a possibility. I mean, there was a seal that we are. It was the seal of the United States. It was over in Russia. We had it at an embassy in Russia, and it was like a passive listening device that and we also they had Windows rigged so they can actually use them for listening devices. So that's not far fetched. It's not. They've had they built a stadium for a
Well, it
conference.
just shows how dumb they are. If they do have all these listening devices and Trump's still carrying out everything that he's carrying out,
This time,
they're pretty inept, aren't they?
yeah. Well, yeah,
If
that or
they had all the information.
it would be that or he's just not doing all the planning in the same room. But either way, I like the fact that he's moving maybe simple fact he's moving so fast he can't react to it, and to react too fast would be an indication that something is being listened. They are listening in. So I mean, you got to wait. That's what about politics. I mean, not politics, spying. Sometimes you got information, but you can't move too fast, or you can't even react to that. Even it might be a bad situation because if you did, it'd tip your hand that you got a listening device. You got something going on. You got a spy in the mix. So sometimes you can't move on stuff immediately. So I think that might be a problem. Might be a situation too. So no, I think that I think he is smart. I think this is a smart move, and I don't think it's a bit paranoid. I don't. No, not at
No,
all.
I'm sure. I wonder how modular though those rooms are, though. How much, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because every president redoes or sets up everything how they want it,
No, but if it's
and
the same,
requests things come out of storage
it was,
in order to be in the office,
yeah,
and other things go back into storage.
yeah, and some stuff like the Clintons decide they like so much they took with them and they had to give it back later.
You know, other than the stupid investigations on Bill Clinton, he wasn't that. He's one of my favorite presidents.
Well, I didn't mind him so much in retrospect, but her I still dislike intensely. She's more power hungry and insane, I think, than Bill ever was. I think Bill's just a frat boy who never grew up and got in office. That's all I think he was. I mean, he did some good things, and he also had some good people behind him. Around him. A lot of things didn't get me to become a catastrophic situation because of them.
I don't know. Did uh did Lawrence hit on anything good today during his show?
Well, about the who are the chosen in the Bible, or on the earth, and basically, it's like I've always said, it's not. If you read the Bible in entirety, it's not the chosen as the people of the state of Israel, the Jewish people. It's actually, according to the New Testament, it is the children, the spiritual children of Abraham, which Christians are supposed to be. If they have the faith of Abraham, they are the children of Abraham, and therefore they also enjoy the covenant, the extension of the covenant. So that was pretty good. I mean, it's got to tie into politics, and a real world scenario. And that's another thing is too. I mean, I like the Bible. I like being a Christian, but I think a lot of people made a lot of this is self-fulfilling prophecy. I do about our, making Israel so important. By making it so important, they made it, it's almost like you have to follow through on this because we just got simply so much money and so many lives invested in it. I think it just, that's, maybe I'm naive. I could be wrong about that. I hope I'm not wrong.
I don't know, but people rely too much on pastors and priests to interpret the Bible to them. They don't actually take the time to read it.
Right. And read for yourself. I mean, I think that's,
it is a hard read.
It is hard, and you got a lot of background information. To make a good assessment, you have to have some background information that might be found in parts of the Bible. And you also have to have the real world under knowledge of the history and the historicity surrounding the Bible in that era and that part of the world and other parts of the world. So you got to be more of a knowledgeable person. You can't just read the Bible and expect to be able to chart your course in everyday life for everything like legal or mechanical, you're not going to find out how to tune your car in the Bible. Okay, you could probably suggest the Chilton manuals for that. But,
yeah,
but I mean,
your spiritual car.
But your spiritual car, yeah, I guess you could say that. But I mean, basically, the basics still that are so applicable. I mean, for the human, the average individual, how they should conduct their lives. But I mean, when they apply it to a political scenario, I think a lot of times it's just basically just by sheer bias. It's not really grounded in scripture. I think they just go along with the flow. And that's what I think the dispensationalists have done. I just think they thought because they came into it, they were taught that's what they grew up in hearing.
Explain
and that's
what a dispensationalist is.
A dispensationalist. Okay, the dispensationalist believes that the world, God changes how he deals with people and Christian believers and unbelievers in the world at different times throughout history. And there's supposed to be so many dispensational periods, and they believe that
we're in like the 13th or something like that
yeah
now.
Yeah, and it's the Bible itself never uses dispensational that many times and mentioned as a dispensation, and it's used in a different context than what they're applying it to. So I mean, dispensation is seriously,
I think is it 13 or 14 phases that we have to go through before the second coming.
See, I've heard both. And that's the thing about dispensationalism. It's like somebody adds, well, see, this doesn't quite cover. So we're going to another one and another one. They're all endlessly.
It's like Nostradamus's quatrains.
Yeah, quatrains. It could be broadly stated and loosely interpreted, and they're done deliberately, like the quatrains, especially the Nostradamus.
But when they got together, what was it, the 1800s or the 1700s, to form the group? They said that we were in the end of times back then.
Right. And it's like, and there were several.
We started out in the end of times.
Right. We started out at the end times. And then, the thing is, when you got a 2000 or 1700, 1800 year span of time, you're saying, damn, it's got to be running out at some point, so we're going to have to wrap it up. Well, okay, this is it. Yeah. They've been doing postmortems on Christendom since at least 200, actually from the time of Christ himself. And some people they expect it was going to be within a one generation, all this can be fulfilled. Well, it obviously didn't. Doesn't mean the validity that can be challenged, in my opinion, but it means the interpretation of people's interpretation can be challenged. And I think that's what it is, because you've heard the Jehovah's Witness and the Seventh-day Adventist. They all came about because somebody predicted the end of the world at this point, sometime in the 1800s. Obviously didn't happen. And now they have split off groups, and they have all these other groups multiplied from that, because they're all trying to define what you're not supposed to do by scriptural standards anyway. You're just supposed to be a Christian, persist in your being, again, the Christian teachings until this all unfolds. You're not supposed to be trying to prognosticate about it. You're just supposed to basically be faithful. The wise and foolish virgins, the parable about the wise and foolish virgins.
But it's a lot easier to get people to come to church when you tell them their soul is about to burn in damnation.
Right. And the thing is, let's face it, none of us know how long we legitimately got on this planet. I mean, I can come getting out of here today. I could drop dead of a heart attack, or whatever, or hit by a bus or whatever. So basically, the intensity behind the message is still there, but to tie it to political events, I think that's where it goes off the rails at. Yeah, everybody should be prepared. It should be a spiritual battle, not always have to tie it to political battle to give it a value. Realize your life.
The thing is people put too much faith in their pastors and their priests, right, when it's you that has to save yourself.
Let's work out your salvation with fear and trembling. You got that. I mean, Christ ultimately is, his propitiation of sins through his blood. Yeah, that I get. But it says in scripture to work out your salvation with fear and trembling. Then it goes against these people saying it's not works based. Well, if it's, you just don't sit back in your laurels. I once saved, always saved, and that's all I had to do. No, I don't believe that for a minute. I think if you're truly legitimately saved, you feel that change in your spirituality, that you feel you need to do these works. That's what I think. And,
Yeah.
and so, I mean, I think that makes sense. But I mean, tying to, I don't think it should be a political foment to actually create change in your personal life. You should say, I want to be this because I want everlasting life. I want to be live forever with Christ. You shouldn't say, well, just because somebody, oh, look, the winds of things here in the political scene are changing and I'm scared. That's what kind of motivation that, because it can change back the next day. You should
Right.
always be consistently faithful on your own, asking God to help you with your striving, that's my opinion. I guess it's a mini sermonette, but I mean, I have an issue with people tying everything to be a Christian to politics. It does have overlap. It does
It
have
should.
overlap.
It's supposed to be in everything you do.
Right.
Your belief's supposed to be in everything that you do and
Let's
everything that you believe.
right. Let your light so shine before men that may see your good
So
works and
with
glorify
that, I
Father who's
mean,
in
I
heaven.
think they should repeal the Johnson Act
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The Johnson Act was horrible. I mean, Johnson, I don't know how he got away with it. I mean, right then it was the First
because
Amendment
money.
challenge.
Was
Yeah.
it at the same time that they made churches tax free?
They tied to keeping tax free if they followed the Johnson Amendment. I knew
Yeah,
that.
I think
Yeah.
there was like a carrot and a stick
Yeah.
going on.
And it's like, and some people like they say, well, they should separation church and state. That's not what the founders meant by separation church and state. They clearly say what it means. It didn't say can have not have any input on
Oh,
decision
and they can
making.
say separation of church and state all they want. If you got somebody that believes in their religion who's in office, eh, there's no separation.
No, they're moral. There shouldn't be a morality. If your morality is based upon Christian conception of morality, then you shouldn't change because you're political office. Now you can't force that upon other people by weaponizing laws. No, but I mean you are still going to be motivated. And if you can't find a way of reconciling that, or if you try to reconcile and it's making a stretch, then you should leave office. Because what you should be as a Christian first, a politician should be way down the priority list. And if you think you can change something for the good for people who are Christians who elect you, fine. But it should not be. I don't believe in established theocracy. I don't. They've always gone off the rails as soon as they were established or even attempted to be established. I do not believe in
No,
that.
because I don't like the regimen of a. I want to go to church. I don't want the church to be my life.
What's
You know what I
and
mean?
it should be part of your life as a believer.
Part
I
of
mean,
it,
yeah,
not be my life.
no, it's like the church is the collective. I mean, you as an individual are still held accountable by your own decisions, by God in the afterworld and here. I believe you pay here as well as, if you don't repent from it, you'll get consequences from both. You get the hardcore consequences of your actions now and down the road if you don't realize where you erred. So anyway, I mean, I guess that's another, some people are rolling their eyes on that, but I think that's got to be said. I think that the founders did not mean they had to be totally divorced. A Christian believer had to be totally divorced from their belief to be in public service or anything else. I don't believe that. I think it should.
You can't be, like I said, if your faith is a big part of you. You
Right.
can't take it out. You can't be a robot.
Well, it's like, I remember years ago, I don't know if you remember this, but back in the mid 2000s, there was a big push for atheism. And I remember somebody posting a quote that was allegedly from Madeleine Mary O'Hare. And she was asked, like, what's an atheist? Well, an atheist would rather build a hospital than a church. This woman had no knowledge of where the word hospital comes from. There was no hospitals for poor or anybody else
It
before the
came
rise of
from the
Christianity,
church.
right, from the Christian church. So, I mean, this woman, when she's made that, and I saw people repeating, I'm putting on signs, the new atheist. And I went, you guys, okay, you ever heard of the Knights Hospitallers, the hospital? Doesn't that kind of be a hospitality,
Yeah,
hospital,
people
same
don't know
roots?
where words come from
No,
anymore.
but they follow this person who basically bitterness and they don't. Somebody thinks that they didn't get their way on good things in life, go against they want to denounce God. Well, I can understand that. I mean,
But it's like we talked about before that the hall of the town was everything. It was where they would come to meetings, is where they go to church,
mhm.
and it would serve as a hospital.
Right, the infirmary or like a place like so maybe they did have a devastation about a temporary morgue.
Right.
I mean, it's like, see, the thing is they want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I mean, I just don't see it. I don't see how you can. I don't know how you can embrace Christian ethics without having the emphasis emphasize in Christ, because eventually it just comes to do-goodedness and eventually you find a way of
Well, not
justifying.
only in Christ, in some religion.
Right. Well,
Some
see,
some religion's better than no religion.
Well, I don't know other religions though that actually try to be universally applicable as Christianity did. I mean, you never heard too many people having missionary missions for Shintoism, from the
No.
religion of Japan. So, and I don't know what the values of behind being a Shinto means, other than central focus. I think is being in Japan and being Japanese, which wouldn't translate well to sitting on our shores. I mean, serious. I mean. So, I mean, I don't think all religions are the same. I think they have some similarities, but I don't think they're all the same. No, I don't. Because I don't see them giving the birth to the traditions and institutions yet Christianity has.
Well, you think things haven't changed? I mean, for hundreds of years, everything's been the same. The same holidays. You know what I mean? There's no new holidays coming up, or
No,
I don't. I think Christianity has a pretty good hold on the United States, and it's not going to go away anytime soon.
Well, I would hope not. I think there's a lot of value to it. I mean, and the critics, I have a right to criticize. I mean, there's some valid points they make, but again, throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I don't agree with that. I mean,
but nobody's telling anybody that they have to be Christian.
No,
it's up to them.
Nope. I mean,
they don't want to be. They don't have to be.
We just had a man who got sworn into his position, sworn in on a scripture that's not, Judeo-Christian or Jewish, whatever.
But it's supposed to be of the people.
Of the people, right. And so he got selected.
And he's a people, right?
Right. He's a people. He's a United States citizen. He's got the qualifications to be in that position. Well, some people would argue that he doesn't, but we're talking about Kash Patel.
Kash Patel.
But no, I mean, do I wish he was Christian? Yeah, but I'm a Christian. I believe that I like to see everybody become a Christian. I legitimately think that it's the best way. It's the only way. But I mean, do I want to vilify or demonize somebody else that isn't? No.
But I mean, you got good friends that aren't Christians.
No. Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, so many people I know are dismissive of Christianity, but I find they're tremendously decent people, and I respect them immeasurably. And I just hope sometime that it changes. But I mean, I can't vilify them, and I can't say, well, look what the sins you commit, because mine are just as bad. So I mean, just as bad, if not worse. I mean, you're held to accountability. If you're a believer, you're held to great accountability. So,
but I think with that, I think we're starting to run out of steam.
Yeah, so I think we did too. But I think we covered some good stuff. And thank you for joining those who did, and hope you come back.